So, another movie review for you. This is a movie called Float Like a Butterfly. It was initially released in late 2018, but has been given a 2019 release date. It's directed by Carmel Winters, and the cast, Hazel Duppy plays the lead role of Frances, a young teenager, Irish teenager. Dara Davina plays her father, Michael Joyce. Johnny Collins plays Francis's brother, Patrick. And looking down at the other actors, Michael's parents are significant in this movie, but I will put it on a slide so you can look at it at your leisure. As for the movie, it's basically a movie about travellers residing in the Republic of Ireland. Quick look at the awards. It won Best Film at the Cork Film Festival in 2018, and the director got a nomination at the Dublin Film Festival and the Glasgow Film Festival in 2019. It didn't hit the high roads for the big awards ceremonies, however. Okay, so this movie, Float Like a Butterfly, set in the Emerald Isle, the Republic of Ireland, in the 60s, focuses on a family who are Irish travellers. The tribal folk are described affectionately as tinkers. They move around the country in their horse-driven wagon and find places to reside until forced to move on by local authorities and local police. The focus of the movie is on a family and how that members of that family survive and interact. The first scene is a strong one. We see a heavily pregnant mother and her alcoholic husband, Michael Joyce, and the two children and grandparents. And they're all having a sing-along, singing Irish folk songs. The atmosphere is one of joviality. The movie offers many scenes like this of traditional life in these tinker communities. However, the merriment is disturbed shortly after by the local Garda police. They're out for blood and they're out to arrest Joyce, which they do. A conflict, however, ensues, and Joyce's pregnant wife is struck in the frenzy. She falls and she's in a serious condition, but Joyce is arrested and removed, and the aftermath is prison for him. However, for his wife and unborn child, sadly, they perish. The two children, Frances and Patrick, end up without parents then, and they are being cared for by their aging grandparents. Although Frances, as a teenager, she's probably about 15 when we jump forward a little bit to the time when Joyce is released on parole. However, Frances at this time has taken on board the role of mother for his younger brother and the caregiver for the grandparents, and she then has to take on a further role of controlling her father's continuing adverse behaviour, with booze, gambling and violence towards authority and all members of the community from time to time. So Frances gets the aid and assistance from Joyce's mother in part, although she becomes much more aware of how young teenage males seem to dominate the travelling community, and she develops an interest in boxing and is in awe of one who Muhammad Ali, and she becomes very much a big fan and wants to become a boxer in her own right, to show how much she's made of. And she doesn't want to capitulate to males of her own age, and so this assists her in her ability to defend herself and avoid being bullied. This side plot is integral really to this movie, as Joyce is determined to make his son a man, but Patrick is a rather withdrawn child, very resistant to this, and reluctant to follow in that footsteps. And so Frances basically steps into the role to protect him and also challenge the young males who are indulging in boxing with anybody that gets in their way. So Frances really does challenge the stereotypical view of society in Ireland with regard to boxing, as she takes on the skills and delivers. We also get a glimpse, well, more than a glimpse really, of the traveller's hardship and prejudice. There's a rather nasty incident when the caravan is attacked at night by a group of racist right-wingers who are angry at the horse tucking into some termites in a local field, and they kill the horse and the family dog, which I found particularly disturbing. Michael and the two kids actually flee the scene here and check out an extended family member, but this turns sour quickly as Michael's booze and aggression interferes in their house peace and they're told to leave. Poverty is an underlying theme in this movie, and they struggle to make ends meet. Although there is these occasions of fun and frivolity, courtesy of the Irish folk music. To the title, you may recall Muhammad Ali when he was Cassius Clay, when he rose to the top of the world heavyweight scene. He used this slogan, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, and that's where the title of the movie comes from. Particularly impressive though is the girl who plays Frances, Hazel Deeby, in this role. But it also puts a stamp on Irish values, their roles in society, and it challenges it into looking at the very male-orientated stereotypes. It's delivered with some sensitivity. The violence isn't really excessive, and I found the movie had a real sense of togetherness. So that's my look on Float Like a Butterfly. It's worth a little listen.